My guests today have driven kids across America into an absolute frenzy because their album has now gone platinum and they are the kings of Saturday morning TV. And they are now in the midst of a nationwide concert tour. The problem is they are late. They're late, and I have got some pizza here because I know that that is their favorite food, but it's going to get cold. It's already getting a little cold, and I'm getting a little nervous because they turned down our limousine because they said they could get here all by themselves, and they didn't want a limousine, and they have to get here on their own. So, I'm waiting.
Chameleons, lizards, and tadpoles. It hardly enters your mind that there's something better than this. A better sleep in a carrot, maybe a scene from the parrot. Believe me when I tell you the word gourmet just don't exist.
They were the first family of turtles, of the Teenage Mutant Ninja variety. The year was 1990. They already had a successful comic, a successful TV show, and a successful first live-action movie. What could possibly have been next for the Turtles? Well, naturally, a concert tour across America.
We love you! Thank you! We love you!
Now, today we're going to continue with the series I have going on here on the channel called The Rise and Fall of the Live-Action Turtle Designs. We started off with some good ones, like the live-action 1990 movie, but we have now entered into versions of the Turtles that want to make you wash your eyes out with dish soap. So, where to begin? Let me start off by saying these videos have kind of morphed into pseudo-reviews, sort of. So, while the main focus will be the look of the Turtles, we are going to dive into some of the aspects of the special and also some of the stuff that was going on around it at the time. And I guess that's a good a place to start as any.
Out of the shells, we're coming out of the shells.
Now, as you can see from the promotional posters, the tour was sponsored by Pizza Hut, who at the time were giving away promotional posters, cassette tapes of the songs from the special, and other stuff as well.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles rock and roll! You can get their hot new audio cassette for $3.99 when your parents buy any pizza at Pizza Hut.
What the hell's a cassette tape? I guess there was also a real big publicity push for this, as well as they appeared on numerous shows, live with Regis and Kathy Lee, Larry King Live, and Oprah.
Let me ask you this. Is there one of the turtles you like more than the others? I mean, is there anything romantic or anything?
Whoa, careful, wait a minute, be careful of that answer.
April, tell them about us.
Oprah, I've been trying to talk her into an interspecies relationships for months now.
Whoa, man.
Crazy times. They dedicated a whole episode to this. It's 45 minutes long. And not only that, the concert special itself is an hour and 30 minutes long. And then there's a behind the scenes making of that's about 30 minutes long. To get through all of it was a process. I didn't realize how much content there was to cover when it comes to this special. Yeesh. Now, the actual story when it comes to the plot of the performance is basically the Turtles want to travel around the world and sing songs to their fans. But Shredder and Baxter Stockman
Criminal Hall of Fame will be mine!
use a machine called the deharmonic convergence converter to take away all the music in the world. It apparently weakens the Turtles as well when they're nearby, so they have to retreat at one point and come up with a plan. Now, as the story's playing out, they're sprinkling songs here and there, and that brings us to the next section of the video, and that's taking a deeper look into some of the songs in this special. Some are just awful, but there's some bangers in here. At the beginning there of this video, you heard the song Pizza Power, which in my opinion is one of the good ones, which also made its way onto a video game. I believe it was the arcade version of Turtles in Time. It's the intro song.
Pizza power! With the million blizzards and handholds in. But pizza power, applying something to delight.
People have genuine love for some of these songs, and come to think of it, as I was leading up to this video and talking about it, people tend to have a lot of love for this special in general, and I can kind of see why. Some of these songs are pretty catchy, and as a kid, this would have totally been the type of music I would have gotten into. One of the songs that I feel like is pretty okay is the surfing one. It's called Tubin, and it has, I don't know if they're like alligators or crocodiles with them up on stage dancing as the turtles are singing.
Getting it mean, you're jumping ways that you never had. Blow your mind, the best you'll find. You got to go now. You might be digging California days, but too bad.
And who could forget Cowabunga, which happens to be my favorite track on the entire special. Move Over, Ninja Rap, and Turtle Power. Michelangelo's dropping flows like nobody's business.
Yo, there's Donatello. Even for a turtle, he's mellow. It's simple. It's simple what makes him grin. Just give him anything. Give him anything. Give him anything that you plug in. If it's got to do with a chip or a bit, energy that just won't quit. Now, when we started, we had no choice. We needed something to help our voice. We went to work to develop a plan, and now we're making music for all our fans.
But that's pretty much all I have on the music. There's the bad songs, but those have been talked about in other videos here on YouTube. And I want to get to the looks of the turtles, and there's still one more section of this video that we need to get through. And that's the weirdness and wackiness that's going on throughout it. Let's take a look at some moments.
I said it before, now the turtles are gone. I am your leader from now on. You're bowing and screaming to the shredder.
Okay, now, in the version I saw, there's a reporter going around interviewing kids. Apparently, there was a pay-per-view that launched this tour that had a VHS, and I read somewhere that he's on that tape, but I'm not sure if he's on any other versions of this tour, so I thought I'd mention that first. But this guy's acting so outrageous that you have to see it for yourself.
You know the way to the sewers? Because I don't know. I've never been out of my newsroom, guys. I'm not good at being a hero. I don't know what this stuff is all about. Can you guys help me out? Is there anybody over here? Can you guys give me something in case I run into any problems down there?
Well, I found my way down to the sub-basement of Radio City Music Hall. This is where they told me that the turtles were, and I'm going to try to find them so that we can hopefully stop this terrible thing that's been happening. Oh, I'm glad I got a light switch. It's darker down here, and I can't find a light switch anywhere that people... What? Huh? Where? No. See? You know, this is not normally what I do. But wait a minute. Where did I come in? Is it here? Where? I'm lost. This is not my... See, I shouldn't be here. They should have somebody else. I should be back on. Snakes!
Snakes? Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
If you're a bit older, then the actor might appear a bit familiar to you. It's the host of Supermarket Sweep. And if you're younger and you're like, what the hell is Supermarket Sweep? Well, how about I show you?
Have run down these aisles for $1 million in cash. Who's got the Listerine? Okay.
Wait. That was Listerine? Now, there's wackiness all throughout this special, and if I were to cover it all, we'd be here all day. But one more wacky thing, and just because I'm not really going to cover them when I talk about the turtles, I figured I had to mention them in this video somewhere, and that's the Shredder. For a kids concert tour, the look of Shredder is, from at least like the neck down, okay, it's passable, but the helmet looks like they didn't even try. I'm assuming there's such a large gap like in the eye area just so he could see while he was walking on stage, but I don't know, the style of it just looks awful. But it wasn't really the look of Shredder that got my attention. It was more his jokes. This guy is a savage.
Is that your mom? How would you like a one-way ticket to my Technodrome? What's your name? Huh? Peter? Is that your sister? Friend? Cousin? What's the matter? Couldn't get a date?
Damn. Alright, enough goofing around. Let's finally get to the look of the Turtles. Now, if you've never seen this special before, you gotta know there's two different versions of the Turtles in it. There's a version of when they're on stage, and there's a version of when they're backstage. Let's start off by talking about the versions of them of when they're on stage. In my opinion, these do not look as good as the ones that they use for backstage. Word is that the backstage ones were harder to move in, so there you go. Now, the onstage version of the Turtles do not have shells at all. Instead, they wear a denim vest, which it was kind of creative. You can't really see where the shell was, so it kind of distracts you from the fact that they don't have shells, but it's still kind of weird seeing them without shells. It's a little off-putting. They have sweaters tied around their waist, all with, you know, their individual colors, and then they have what appear to be leg warmers also in their individual colors. Now, this concert special came out in 1990, but the Turtles look awfully familiar from Turtles we've already covered, the Turtles from the Christmas special and the Turtles from Turtle Tunes, but those came out in 1994, so this is kind of like the predecessor to those versions of the Turtles. If you think about it, this beloved concert special kind of started the downward trend of the live action Turtle designs. Turtles 3 probably had a bigger impact actually, but this did technically start it. The faces look very similar in the heads and everything to the Christmas special and Turtle Tunes. The only real difference worth mentioning is these have like more what I would call like liver spots on them, which funny enough Turtles 3 also kind of overdid it on that as well. They each have a black armband with their initial on it, but that's pretty much it for the onstage version of the Turtles. Like I said, we already talked about these designs sort of in previous videos when it comes to the Christmas special and the Turtle Tune special. Now, the backstage version of the Turtles is something we've never encountered before. And although not movie quality good, and a bit creepy at times, but the quality is noticeably different. They just seem to be made out of a better material or something. The way their mouths move appear more intricate, and it's a real shame that these weren't the ones that ended up on stage. They don't really get to shine in the special. There's a few moments with them, but I feel like they're used more in the behind the scenes making of VHS. The look is very simple. It's the regular Turtle design everybody was used to. They all have their own custom belt in their designated colors. Raph's has like one with like an X pattern on it. Donatello has one with like a yin yang logo on it. Leonardo has one, I'm not really sure what the sign is, but it looks like the Starfleet insignia from Star Trek, like the little logo that's on their shirts. And Michelangelo has stars. And Leo and Michelangelo have their little logo thing on one of their eyes as well. This backstage look is wacky, scary at times, and just downright weird, but I respect it. You could tell that they were at least trying to pay homage to the original 1990 movie, which in my opinion is the best version of the live-action Ninja Turtles that's come on screen yet. Don't get me wrong, this isn't good, but at least they tried. And hey, maybe they didn't have much to work with. Who knows? But you know who does have a lot to work with? Whoever's making the next blockbuster Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Yeah, as far as we know, there's an upcoming live-action reboot movie that's in the works. But yeah, if it's not a direct copy, at least some kind of homage to the look of the 1990 movie would blow fans' minds. And the reason I started this series of the rise and fall of the live-action Ninja Turtles designs was to raise, I guess, some sort of awareness to how great they looked in that 1990 movie. And that hopefully I could influence in some small way how the Turtles could possibly look in an upcoming live-action movie. Maybe the right person listens to this video. Maybe it creates enough buzz with a small pocket of fans that are subscribed to where subconsciously somebody notices. It doesn't matter as long as the Turtles and Turtle Mania get the Turtles look that they deserve.
definitely happening musically.